There are quite a few specialized collectible subcultures out there. Many are obscure, some are hard to find, and others are downright strange, but if you're in the resale business or a picker by trade, you probably know this one: sewing collectibles. They've been sought after for just about as long as people have been collecting. But if you didn't know it, I am here to tell you there is a hidden world that wants your vintage sewing accessories and implements. I love sharing these kind of goodies with you, and perhaps you're going to find out you already have a few of these treasures lurking in your collection or your hoard. So this is the top 10 sewing collectibles collectors are looking for in 2021. We're going to start things off with thimbles. Don't get too excited. It has to be the right ones. The period examples from the Georgian and Victorian period typically are the best, and they can be found in anything from sterling, gold, porcelain, and bronze, you name it. Pin cushions. Again, the collectors can be quite particular. The figurals of the Victorian era are always a hit. Some featured sterling silver bases, cast in filigree, or carved wood even, and many were topped with the finest velvet, and values can vary quite a bit, but recent auction records have shown collectors are willing to step up. Sewing baskets. Yes, tasket baskets, that is. They're big money, some of them, and they can have quite the resale range, and if you know what you're looking for, honestly, there's tons of styles out there, and they could have their own book, and they probably do. But a little research and using your gut after a while, you're going to find you might make some big money with these. Needle cases. As with the pin cushions, you're really looking for that pre-20th century era for the most part. The Victorian era had examples that were the most elaborate. These beautiful works of art had a very important job. You have to remember, prior to the 20th century, a needle was a rare instrument and quite expensive. So you needed a special case to put your needle in. Think of it like an iPhone today. You want a very expensive case to protect your instrument. Period examples can be found comprised of almost anything. I've seen them in sterling, bone, gold, and even tortoiseshell, just to name a few. Dress forms. The first time I saw an old dress form sell at an auction for over $300, I took note. An antique dress form seems to always be in demand. You see them used in online marketing, decorating, and actually still fulfilling their actual purpose. Sewing scissors. Just as needles were a rare instrument of their period, more so were scissors. In fact, they were quite the luxury. One's wealth could be determined by the ornate, to the level of ornate, your sewing scissors were, and would really show a woman of stature if you even had a pair of these. Look for the more intricate and delicate implements. Often gilded or figural, antique sewing scissors can fetch several $100s at today's auction market, and some of the finest examples really might surprise you. The spools. More common in the States and collections are the spools. They tend to be collectible as collections, more so for their decorative purposes or displaying with miniatures and the like on a bookshelf. You'll find people selling them online by the lot, and they sell between $10 and $100. So whatever the collector's motivation is, it might be a few more dollars than you had when you didn't know they were worth something. Signs and advertising. These have a large following as they are a cross collectible, meaning more than just sewing collectors have an interest, and therefore there's more demand. From old drugstore display cases to tin lithograph signs, old advertising die cuts, and so on, there is a lot out there to look for, and it's very collectible. As well, watch out, there's a lot of reproductions, which is a telltale sign of the demand for the real deal. Spool or thread cabinets. With the newfound popularity of sewing machines in 1844, a whole new market was created, and nobody at that time wanted to spin their own thread anymore. Who has time for that? So women began to purchase ready-made thread on wooden spools. So of course, you had to have a place to store it. The Victorian era was big about making things to store everything. Hence the spool cabinet was born. And while the later 20th century cabinets they're worth $50 or so, the antique thread cabinets can really surprise you, especially if they have some advertising. Singer sewing machines. Again, you must know what you're looking for. You have to remember, Singer made a ton of machines. About every house in America had one. So there's a lot of boat anchors out there. However, there are a few models to look for, namely the Featherweight and the Red Eye. Singer in general tends to be the brand more in demand in the antique market, but a good Featherweight is an easy $200. But find a rare color other than the standard black and you can really get a premium. I hope this video helped you, and maybe you found it mildly entertaining or you like this kind of thing. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Until we stream again.